Welcome to MotoMouths, the podcast for MotoGP, motorsports, and more. I'm your host, Zoe, and Zoe has a bit.
Oh, yeah. I'm your other host, also named Zoe, and just call me the sun because I be out at 6:30 in the evening.
Brag about it. I thought you were going to make a Jesus joke.
Oh, no. That'd be gauche.
Well, I have a Jesus joke. More like a Jesus question. Who suffered more? Christ on the cross or Jorge Martin?
Okay, actually, honestly, probably Jorge Martin, because it's been like 3 months of this, and Jesus was only on the cross for 3 days?
Not even, 12 hours.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, he's, not to talk about Jorge Martin for 2 minutes at the top of the pod, every pod, but he's still in the ICU in Qatar.
Yeah, dude has not left.
And he's not leaving for a couple weeks.
I think they're looking to try and get him to leave within a week. As always happens with MotoGP health discussions, they jump the gun all the time.
Right. I'm sure the concern is you don't want to fly somebody who is at severe risk for clotting and get them up in the air, and then he have what is it called when you have a pulmonary embolism?
To get Jorge Martin home, they have to book not just a private flight, but they have to book a medical flight because it has to fly super, super low because it can't go too high. It has to stop 4 or 5 times. Again, I'm not a pilot, but I think because it's flying super low and super slow, it has to refuel a couple of times. So it's a really uncomfortable, really long journey. And also just he's still so broken.
I just looked up Lusail to Spain vis-a-vis Google Maps, and it's a 3-day, 7,100 kilometer drive. And you got to go up and through Turkey and all of Europe and go in the back way through Spain.
Oh,
yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
So driving's out.
Driving's out. Can't go by land. By sea, they'd have to go around Africa, right?
No, they could go through the Suez. Sea's actually probably a good option. They would have to go through, so this is how you'd go by sea. You would have to go through around the Arabian subcontinent, so around Oman, Yemen, and then up through the Red Sea. And then from the Red Sea, they would go through the Suez into the Mediterranean. And then they would be in the Mediterranean, and then it would probably take 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
also by sea is out.
And there's also pirates.
Yes. And weather. Weather happens.
Well, weather happens in planes and driving too.
Yeah, but you're not heaving and hoeing on a plane. Have you been on a ship? Those bitches, there's a whole thing called sea legs.
They be heaving and hoeing.
Jorge can't even stand up. How is he going to get his sea legs?
The fish pod.
You don't stand up in the fish pod.
No, but he'll be in the fish pod, and that'll acclimate him.
I don't think you understand what sea legs are.
I do. I've been on boats. I've driven boats. Anyways, besides that.
Yeah, it's rough. It's bad.
It's not smooth sailing.
That was so awful. We're moving on. I can't do this anymore.
Not much has happened in the MotoGP world this week, except all of VR46 trooped out to Imola to support their dad.
Valentino.
Yeah, who did really well at the 6 hours of Imola.
He did, apparently run someone else into the wall, but who among us hasn't done that?
I mean,
who am I to judge what he felt it was necessary to do?
I, for one, am in favor of crime.
This is a pro-crime podcast. I think that is clear.
Yeah, it was really cute seeing them all kind of out there in their street clothes, cheering them on, just vibing.
I love a VR46, bring your kids to work day.
It very much
so
had
fun.
the vibe of bring your kids to work day. It was very much cheaper by the dozen. The older kids Frankie and Pecco are kind of helping the younger kids along and keeping them in line and making sure Bez doesn't run off and go look at shiny objects.
Meanwhile, Luca and his wife literally have their baby there and are doing their own thing. It was very cute.
So I think that really just brings us to Jerez and the predictions for this weekend. What happened last year?
Last year was... What was last year? Didn't Mark, crash out? Oh, yeah. Mark crashed during the sprint. Oh, my God. And this was when Danny Pedrosa was there. Danny.
Why was Danny there?
He was wildcarding for KTM, which is, a really fun thing that they do for concessions, which basically is so Alpine sucks, right?
Right.
Not as bad as they used to. Still suck. Basically, because Alpine sucks so bad, from the concessions standpoint in the way the championship ended in 2024, theoretically, Alpine would get 2 to 3 chances throughout the entire season to run another car in addition to their 2 for the whole weekend. And it's supposed to help them get more data. And typically most teams do this with their development riders. So Alicia Spargaro is actually going to be riding in Jerez this year for Honda, in addition to their 2 riders. So it's if we're going to take the Alpine example to its natural conclusion, it would be if for whatever weekend Alpine would have Jack Doohan, Pierre Gasly, and Franco Colapinto in 3 Alpine cars for the whole weekend.
Imagine if they did that for Williams last year and they couldn't even produce 1 car.
That would have been really sad and really fucking funny.
It would have been really funny. They're in their Excel spreadsheet shit, we gotta build a 3rd car? We barely have 2.
The VLOOKUP is not working. And that's an Excel joke for all the Excel heads out there. I know there are some.
All the freaks in the sheets.
My people. God, it's really coming back to me last year. Basically, the context of 2024 was that we were ramping up to the European tracks that Marc Marquez had always kind of been great at. Everyone was saying that Coda is where he was going to win for the first time on a Ducati. Jerez was an option. Aragon was an option. Sachsenring was an option. It just depended on how long you thought he would take to acclimate to the new bike and the new team. So we get to Jerez. He's not won yet. And everyone's just kind of wow, this is a really solid chance for that. The problem with Jerez is that essentially what happens is if it rains, which it does in some parts of the world, I have heard, if it rains in Jerez, the water doesn't, hit the track, soak through the asphalt, and then go into the ground. What happens is for whatever reason, it just kind of sits in the asphalt.
Oh, so you hydroplane?
Well, even worse, it looks like the track is dry. And then it does this thing that they call weeping. And the water will just kind of come up and secret puddle in the track. I'm so serious.
Campus form of track degradation.
And the track looks dry and the track is fine and they repave it when it needs it. It's not a track issue. It's just whatever happens, the water just sits in it and then comes back up. And it's a really weird, it only happens here kind of thing. I'm serious.
That's so fucking weird. It weeps?
Yes. And this is why, because I was I know that looking back at 2024, I was there was a weekend that Mark crashed out and it wasn't even his fault. And it is his fault a lot of the time. Love and light.
But this was while the track gently weeped.
Exactly.
While my motorcycle gently weeps.
This article calls it a continuing source of water that welled up.
So a well?
No one really knows. It just happens here. It's nuts.
Can we take a look into Jerez as a source of our future world water problems? It seems like there's some sort of mystical...
The Fountain of Youth is underneath the track in
was
Jerez.
Literally about to say Fountain of Youth properties. I mean, maybe that's where the Fountain of Youth came from because it came from Spain, to Spanish Florida. Tuck everlasting, motherfuckers.
I see it. But yeah, basically what had happened is everyone was coming into this weekend saying Marc Marquez could very well win this. He's famously really great at adapting to changing track conditions, tire deg, tire management. This could be a good weekend for him. It was also fun last year because Danny Pedrosa was wildcarding for KTM and everybody loves Danny Pedrosa. Even if you are not a Danny Pedrosa fan, you love Danny Pedrosa. He's just a great vibe. Also, he has a really cool, shock of gray hair, right here.
Sexy.
Exactly. Incredible. So it was just a really kind of fun weekend. Then I think Martin also crashed out that weekend. So it was a great, what happened to the championship kind of thing. I think Pedro had like a great weekend. Wow, I got to go back and rewatch this weekend. It sounds like I had a lot of fun. Oh, and I think a bunch of people got disqualified because of the tire pressure penalties, because that's why it was crazy that Danny Pedrosa was there, because Danny got a podium, I think, or something.
Yeah, there was only 17 finishers.
Because of the weeping.
Oh, not the weeping.
Not the weeping. So we need to do our predictions.
We need to do our predictions. Do we think weeping is going to be an issue this year?
Yes.
Okay. Succinct answer. I like it. I don't know. Maybe Jerez is in a drought.
I mean, that's not good.
Okay.
I'm going to say there will be weeping because everyone's unsure of where it comes from. I think it rained last year, so
we'll see. All right. I'm going to go first with my predictions. P3, can we make it happen this week, buddy? Marco Bezzecchi. This is where you finished last year. This is what I'm asking from you for this year. How many times have I said your name P3 in these predictions? How many times have you let me down? Many. But I'm still going to say it. And then in P2, I'm going to go Pecco. And P1, Marc Marquez.
I mean, I think that's a long shot, but I understand why you're picking it.
And then for Fail King, I'm going to go with Fabio Quartararo.
That would break my heart.
It would break my heart too, especially because it was his birthday. So maybe this is reverse jinxing. Happy 26th birthday, King. He's a baby. Would you like to hit me with your predictions?
I would. I would like to share my predictions because they are many and I have them. P1, I'm going to go with Marc Marquez. You know what? Like, it feels right. Feels good. Feels natural. P2, I'm going to go with Mr. P2 himself, Alex Marquez. He's got some ground to make up. I think this is his year of P2s, as has already happened. I think there's a good shot. And then P3, I'm going to go with Frankie Morbidelli because he's having a really strong season so far. And I think the momentum he's got is really good for the moment. And I'm just excited to see where he takes it. For Fail King, I'm going to go with Pedro Acosta because all of the news coming out of the most recent race weekend has him pissed and angry and frustrated and feeling like he cannot ride this year's KTM. And so I think he's going to push it too hard and I think he's going to eat it.
Solid predictions. I was almost going to say Alex P2 as well, but
and like watch Pedro like get on the podium.
Reverse curse.
Apparently that's what happens to me.
Yeah, so I guess we will see what happens this weekend. We will be sat. We will be seated.
My ass will be sat. I'm so sat, they're already asking me to leave the theater.
And I think that brings us to the great wide world of motorsports. We have a new championship leader in Formula One.
Is it the Australian I wanted? No, but it's the Australian we deserve.
Is it the Australian we deserve?
Yeah.
I think it's the Australian we've got.
Oh, that's probably more accurate.
The first Australian to lead the World Championship since 2010 when it was Mahk Webbah.
I don't think I'll ever say his name like right. I just love it. Mahk Webbah.
It's so fun.
This is like a perfect example of Americans being obsessed with
accents. Mahk Webbah. Who was there? He broke
he
his...
was there.
With his little camera doing, you're doing amazing, sweetie, and Park
You're doing amazing, sweetie. He was really giving Amy Poehler in Mean Girls.
Amy Poehler, Kris Jenner. He was giving
Dance Moms.
MILF.
He was giving MILF. Mahk Webbah.
Mahk Webbah.
Mahk Webbah.
The M in Mac stands for MILF.
No.
It was so bad.
Mahk Webbah.
Mahk Webbah.
Mahk Webbah.
Mahk Webbah.
Mahk Webbah.
We have to stop. Oh, I'm crying.
What would Mahk do?
You can tell that Zoe and I have had a long day.
So many long days. Mahk Webbah. Save me, Mahk Webbah.
Mahk Webbah.
Anyways, I'm smiling so hard my face hurts.
So, yeah. So,
wow. And it's crazy. He didn't even show up that much this weekend. We were just obsessed with Mahk Webbah.
The evil has been defeated.
The evil has been defeated by what some might call a lesser evil.
That's what I was literally about to say, is that Oscar Piastri, WC leader, but at what cost, parentheses, McLaren being happy.
There was way too much Zach Brown on my TV. It was horrifying.
Dislike.
No.
Though I do have to give a shout out to Andrea Stella. Actually, the first McLaren podium at Jeddah came from their F1 Academy driver, Ella Lloyd.
Good for her.
She won the first F1 Academy race, and Andrea Stella was there to congratulate her, which I thought was very nice.
No, that's very sweet of him. Rare Andrea Stella W.
Rare McLaren W. Also, she's Welsh, and they played the fucking British anthem, which I guess is like technically the appropriate thing, but I was like, ugh, colonialism.
Don't like that. That is one of those moments where I'm like, oh, I'm so American. Like,
yeah,
you would not catch me being hype about the British anthem a day in my life.
Imagine if we had, which we kind of do have like state anthems for some states at least, but like imagine if I were on a podium and instead of playing Georgia on My Mind, they started playing New York, New York. I would throw a fucking fit.
My ass would be on the phone to someone. I would not have shown up. I don't even know. Virginia doesn't really have a real state song.
Though I did hear that apparently the West Virginia in Take Me Home Country Roads is referring to the west of Virginia, not West Virginia.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You kind of got that.
I mean,
have I told you about my theory that John Denver is an alien?
No.
Yeah, this is one of two conspiracy theories that I believe in. And it's one that I came across all on my own.
Okay.
I'm putting it together in my head. So I'm going to pull up John Denver's Wikipedia page.
Okay. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've ever thought about John Denver, other than knowing he has a song that I like.
So John Denver was born in Roswell, New Mexico.
You're fucking kidding me. That's an alien. That's an alien.
3 years before the UFO sighting
in
Roswell,
alien.
New Mexico. So they were coming back for him.
He's literally Kal-El.
His music features very prominent themes of going home, Take Me Home Country Roads, leaving on a jet plane. He advocated in front of the United States Congress. He did a congressional testimony for increased space funding, space exploration funding.
He wants to go home.
Zoe, I shit you not, he died in a single passenger experimental plane crash incident.
He wanted to go home.
He wanted to go home.
That's like, I think you're onto something. Like, I really think you're onto something.
No, I'm right. Like, I read his Wikipedia page because I was like, I wonder, this is my thinking. This happened like sophomore year of college. I was like, I wonder if John Denver's from West Virginia. So I looked up his Wikipedia page and I was like, this man's an alien.
Yeah. Roswell is the first sign, and like honestly, the thing that really made me believe it. No one's born in Roswell.
The thing that really gets me is the single passenger experimental plane craft accident.
The experimental part?
Yeah, like he built it himself. I think.
Spaceship.
Yeah. UFO. Anyway,
F1.
F1. So yes, at what cost is McLaren happy? You know what? I'll tolerate it because Lando Norris is fucking miserable, dude.
Oh, it's so nice.
When he fucked it in qualifying.
It was like the sun shining after a long, long winter.
I have so many words that I want to say and none of them are nice.
Okay. I think I understand.
And if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. What I will say is that I think the Sky Sports commentators were going to commit mass suicide on live TV.
Okay, this is why I love that we get to talk about this, because that we get to talk about this on our own podcast. The way commentary, like across the board, was like going through the fucking horrors, watching Lando Norris not sweep was hysterical. It was the last like 5 laps of the race, and Charles Leclerc had maybe 2 seconds on Lando, and Lando, to his credit, like closed up like 0.6. So we had about 1.37 between him and Charles. The way F1 TV commentary could not shut up about the fact that Lando Norris has a serious chance to close a second, or almost a second and a half between him and a Ferrari in less than 5 laps. And honestly, I think it was like 2. I think it was like 2 laps that they were like, he's gonna do it. Like, he can do it. And I was like,
what is he gonna do? He can't overtake. What is he gonna do? He can't overtake.
I just felt like crazy for being like no car in the world can do that. Except for maybe the RB19 in the hands of Max Verstappen.
The other thing that I really enjoyed about F1 TV commentary is that I think it was perhaps Alex Jakes, but he goes, that's like in his British accent, he goes, that's a real, dingus moment. And Coulthard goes, oh, what? So they have rights for that.
If nothing else, F1 TV coverage is like great accent work.
David Coulthard is one of my favorite commentators of all time because so often he talks about how much teammates fucking hate each other. That's his like go-to tangent. He's always like, I have always said that teammates is a misnomer. I guess he's Australian now.
Yeah, with Mahk Webbah.
Mahk Webbah. Anyways,
Mahk Webbah.
They were teammates.
They were. He picked it up somewhere.
So shall we take a look at what our predictions were for Jeddah?
Please. I'm so happy to be wrong.
Okay. You weren't wrong. You got many of them correct. You said Oscar P1.
Incredible.
You said Lando P2. P3 Charles, which you got right. And then you said fail King Fernando. He actually didn't fail. He came in 12th. So your reverse curse worked, or 11th. Your reverse curse worked again. And then I said P1 Oscar, good job me. P2 Charles, I can only dream. P3 Lewis, womp fail King Nico. Yeah. Pretty
he just wasn't
low in
anywhere.
the totem.
Yeah, I feel like Nico as a fail king, he just wasn't anywhere. So I feel like you're right there.
So
honestly, I'm really shocked that we were right about Charles because we did do this like way before the weekend even started. And they did not look great from like a race pace perspective once the weekend actually started. I'm like very happy.
I'm very happy too. Looking down the order. So it was in actuality P1 Oscar Piastri, P2 Max Verstappen, Maxterclass,
Exactly.
P3 Charles Leclerc, P4 Lando Norris can't drive, P5 George Russell, P6 Kimi Antonelli, P7 Lewis Hamilton, 8 and 9 Sainz and Albon, double points for Williams. Good job, boys. And then in 10th, rounding it out, my beautiful, beautiful baby boy, my baby capybara, Isaac Hadjar, had joints once again.
We love had joints.
We love had joints. The other thing that I wanted to say is that how many times are we going to say it? Can't fucking drive.
It was so crazy because we were like bitching about him via text and then he got a 10-second penalty for hitting someone and overtaking offline. Insane.
As we were bitching about him.
Insane. And again, once again, the glazing that people are doing over him.
The glazing. Oh, well, he outqualified Isaac. Okay, so now it's 15-2.
Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. Also, it was really sad to see Yuki and Pierre take each other out. That didn't make me feel
a lover's quarrel.
Nice things. I felt sad about it. And Pierre was looking good. Like, I feel like he's had some good momentum.
Yeah, both of them were looking good. He was looking so good that I switched a bunch of shit around in F1 Fantasy to be Alpine. And that really fucked me over. Yeah, he, everyone said, oh, he was 0.9 seconds off Max in qualifying. Okay, but still, we're still seeing upward improvement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm as generous with praise as you are in this moment.
Oh, I'm not praising. I'm being factual.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think I'm not as hyped about that. Like, there is upwards improvement, but this isn't a win for Yuki by any means.
No.
People who are saying that's not, the season is very long. Like,
yeah.
Let's just take a beat.
God, the season is so long.
Yeah.
We have a few weeks off, a little bit of a spring break. Here's my question. Do I go in 2 Mondays to the Met to watch Lewis Hamilton?
Yes.
Okay. Let me give you more context. It is going to be hell. I will be standing across the street. I won't be able to see pretty much anything.
Yeah. I remember this from last time.
All right. I guess we'll see if I go to the Met to see Lewis Hamilton look fucking incredible like he did on the Vogue cover.
Celebrate Black dandyism.
Which, by the way, is such a fascinating Met ball theme.
Such a good theme, first of all.
Such a good theme.
We have been drowning in shitty themes since 2016. The discrepancy was so large that everybody who ate down.
True.
And everybody who shit the bed even harder because everyone else who ate down.
It's like the Gaga, Carly Kloss camp dichotomy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, looking camp in the eye versus like...
the performance she did.
It's like Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby.
Oh, so true.
Looking camp in the eye is However, so camp.
It became camp.
She tried so hard to do camp in a way that was uncamp. It became camp.
So maybe I'll go to the Met. I am traumatized by 2023. I can't emphasize this enough. I work about maybe like a 15-minute walk away from the Met. I do, however, work very, very close to a hotel that a lot of Met attendees get ready at, called the Pierre. And actually, we had a walkthrough for an event scheduled that day, and it was canceled because of the Met. And I got home all the way to Brooklyn and realized that Daniel Ricciardo had spent the whole day getting ready about 5 minutes away from me and had left the building maybe 5 minutes away from me. And I wanted to kill myself.
And I'm grateful you didn't, but I would have felt the same way.
Just one of the many near misses I've had with Mr. Ricciardo.
He's kind of famous with those.
Yeah.
I made eye contact with him once, and it was lovely.
All right. Brag about it. Famously very good at doing his little Met theme. I thought he did a great job in 2023.
Yeah. Kudos to him and also the Tom Brown team. That was really great.
Tom Brown always nails it. So after that, we'll be back in Miami. I hate the concept of Miami, the entire city, especially the airport. I have like a deep, like I'm getting like heated and angry just thinking about Miami. So who knows what's going to happen then? My question to you is over under on baby Verstappen being born between now and Miami.
Oh, I had a jump scare where I thought the baby was born yesterday. And I was like, I don't know why I thought that. But for some reason, I woke up this morning and was like, the baby. So I don't know. I think the baby's born. Like,
right.
Not now, but like, I think she's coming before Miami.
Before Miami. I think so too.
Yeah. And because they get a little break, like, I'm sure it would be nice to, like, as a family, kind of like be together and let Kelly, like, have a bit of a breather before, like, he's gone again. I don't know what you were about to say, but, like, I could not fucking imagine pushing a huge ass baby out.
Baby's going to be a bowling ball.
And then having my partner fuck off to Miami 4 days later. No, unacceptable.
I was about to say, Max is a gift giver. His love language is gift giving. That push present.
Oh, it's going to go so hard.
It's going to be, I don't even know what it's, a yacht, maybe.
I can see that. I was about to say a car.
I think a car's too small.
It's going to be like the push presents and all push presents. Should we discuss the grid as?
I think so. The grid as ... for those uninitiated is a point in our podcast where we classify a handful of riders or drivers from across the great wide world of motorsports as a person, place, thing, concept, idea. And since it's our 13th episode, I thought we could go with lucky superstitious objects and symbols.
I love that idea. I think that's so fun. I'm opening up the Wikipedia article for bad luck signs.
No, good luck signs.
I thought it was bad luck. 13's an unlucky number.
Do one of each. You do one bad luck, one good luck.
Fine. I'm doing one from F1, by the way.
What?
I'm just keeping it fun and interesting.
We're switching it up.
We're keeping things interesting.
Okay, would you like to go first?
I would love to go first. So I will be doing one person from MotoGP and one from F1 because I was looking at the list of lucky and unlucky things and it just jumped out at me and made sense. Unlucky item, F1 driver of Charles Leclerc. He is a cornicello.
The fuck is a cornicello?
Do you know what that is? Oh,
no.
My goodness. Cornicello is basically, it is one of those things where you're like, wow, that's a really cool thing. And it's like a pepper, or it's like a whatever. And it's like, the more you look into the background of it, it is a fertility thing. So it's meant to kind of be like, you know what it is. It's a pepper.
Why is this Charles and not Carlos?
It's a very Italian thing. And like, I have one, but it's a pepper. It's a cornicello. That's Charles.
I've never heard of this in my entire life.
He wears one all the time.
I mean, I've seen it. I'm now seeing what this is. I just thought that was always just a pepper.
No, it's a cornicello. I have one. Mine's made out of coral. My people. For my bad luck, I will be going with Valentino Rossi, who is not currently on the MotoGP grid, but in some ways never left it. He is the act of saying Macbeth in the theater.
Oh, such a good one. Such a good one. Brilliant, actually.
Valentino Rossi is show. He is the beating heart of what MotoGP is today and where it came from. And he is the person who ushered it into a show, an entertainment, a presentation, art even. And on the flip side of that, he is an arbiter of bad luck. He just is, like, he is, when you say Macbeth in a theater, that's Valentino Rossi. The Scottish play? No.
Yeah.
The Italian rider.
Yeah. Wow.
I kind of nailed that one.
You really did. That was really good.
And like as a theater kid, like I had to choose that one.
Yeah, of course. So I'm going to do 2 F1 drivers. For good luck, I'm going to say Fernando Alonso is the
Rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year. The waving kitty cat at like Japanese and Chinese restaurants. Yes, exactly. With the paw that goes up and down. That's called a maneki neko. So it is Japanese in origin. But is seen oftentimes in Chinese restaurants. But I think that's Fernando Alonso 100%. He is a weeb. He has his little samurai tattoo.
Yeah.
And he did that little kitty celebration when he was younger.
Yep. He is a weeb. Wow.
He is a weeb. He is a weeb.
Weeb representation in Fernando Alonso.
Truly.
Representation matters.
For bad luck, I'm going with... And it is breaking a mirror, because have you seen him lately?
Yeah, it's bad.
Have you seen how he looks?
It's really bad.
The facial hair situation, if it can even be called that.
He looks like I was going to say something really mean and I'm not going to say it. He looks really bad.
He looks like an NSYNC reject.
Honestly, yeah.
It's the like Lance
the
Bass.
Pointy hair and like the weird, like very square goatee kind of vibe.
And yellow.
It's so yellow. It's so brassy.
Babe, you need a toner.
That's what you get. I want to make another addition. Jorge Martin is walking underneath a ladder.
Jorge Martin is all of these.
Yeah. All right. I think that's for the episode.
Yeah, that's it. It's been a ride this episode, it must be said.
Yeah.
Mahk
Webbah. What's Mahk Webbah up to? Well, next week, what are we doing next week, Zoe?
Next week, we'll review the events of Jerez. And we'll be on Pope Watch and we'll be on Baby Watch.
Honestly, Baby Watch is more important.
Baby Watch is more important. Also, the conclave is going to start for like 3 weeks.
Like, what smoke is Kelly going to burn? You know?
Pink.
Yeah, but like, to let us know. Is it just going to be pink smoke all the time? Is it going to be pink smoke only when the baby's born?
Oh, that's such a good point.
You know?
Anyways, so that's it for us. Go ahead and give us a like, subscribe, follow, whatever the mechanisms may be on, what are they all? TikTok, Instagram, link, no.
Yeah, hit us up on LinkedIn, you guys.
Who are we, Daniel Ricciardo? TikTok, Instagram, Threads, YouTube. We are all those places. We're having a lot of fun.
Come hang out with us next time.
Yeah, let's keep chatting soon. Bye.
Bye.